Just finished my 3rd shift out of 3. I am officially done for the week on my ICU rotation, and let me tell you, out of all the weeks that I've had so far, this week has got me completely pooped. Every day was a new experience. The first day I had 2 patients, second day I had a new set of patients, and the third today was the creme de la creme. And I know it's an understatement to say that you're taking care of unstable patients, because if you think about it, in the ICU, all your patients are unstable. But for me, ever since I started working on my ICU rotation for the very first time, today felt ridiculous. And you know, I don't want to go into complete detail about what happened because I don't want to violate HIPAA, but it was a lot of work. And I guess at the end of the day, the lesson that I learned from these past 3 shifts, experiencing 6-7 different patients in total out of this 3-day run, is to always count on your team. And I'm very proud and I'm very fortunate that at the ICU unit that I work at, I have a awesome support system. I had so much help and I had so much support throughout this whole thing, but you wouldn't believe how many people came to our aid asking if we needed something. Biggest takeaway I just want to say is never be afraid to ask for help. Even myself, I've been a nurse for about 2 years now. There are things out there that I still don't know. I felt like I haven't scratched the surface of becoming a nurse just yet, and I'm very grateful for experiences such as this week where I dealt with the most unstable of unstable patients. And to be honest, it is gonna prepare me for the future, and I look forward to the experiences that I'm gonna have in the future as an ICU nurse. And that's something that I got to experience for the first time, without going into great detail, was rapid transfusion protocol. Now, rapid transfusion protocol, it's something that's given, of course, in a medical emergency when a patient needs an enormous amount of blood. And med-surg, IMC, you're never gonna have this. The only instance where you're gonna be able to do a rapid transfusion is going to be through the ER or the ICU. And so today was my first-hand experience with a rapid transfusion, and it is just crazy how technology has advanced over the years, where we're allowed to give so much blood in so little time. That's what I got to experience, and I am grateful for this opportunity. Happy Thursday, everyone. Today is a special day because today I'm getting officially badged for my clinical preceptorship. And right now I need to get a haircut. As you can see, my hair is a total mess. I haven't got a haircut in about a month's time. Just gonna get my haircut real quick and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Let's get it. I just got done with the haircut and my barber did a fantastic job. So I am now ready to take these pictures, and I figured, you know, I might as well get a haircut this week because my hair was getting super long and I wanted to look presentable in my student picture. So that's that, and now I'm on my way to getting this badge done, and then after I'm gonna spend the rest of the day just studying for these 2 tests. I got a 2 tests that's coming up this weekend. I got a big midterm for my pathophysiology course, and then I got another test for my clinical preceptorship class. And it's kind of weird, you know, we still have clinicals, but we also have a lecture portion to it, so I still need to study for that class, and I need to do well in both. So I'm gonna spend some time studying for those 2, and hopefully that I ace and I crush these exams so I could just enjoy and focus on the rest of the week. It is official. I just got my student badge for my clinical preceptorship, and I'm super excited to finally begin my journey where I get to, you know, shadow a family nurse practitioner so I can see what it's truly like to be a practitioner. I'm going to be starting sometime in the next couple of weeks. I have to go through some general orientation first, but this is where I'm going to be able to practice my skills, everything that I've learned these last couple of weeks in NP school online, put it all together, work on my SOAP notes, work on my assessments, and it's going to be one heck of a ride. Just continue watching these videos, and I'm going to show you guys and talk to you guys what it's like to go through a clinical preceptorship, because it's going to be one of the best experiences that you're ever going to have when you're going through a program like this. So one of the biggest obstacles, and to many the biggest obstacle when you're a nurse practitioner student, is seeking clinical preceptorship. Now, the big difference between seeking a preceptorship from an MSN program as opposed to a BSN or ADN program is that whereas in an ADN program or BSN program, the clinical preceptorship is chosen for you and you know where you're going to go according to your school, in an MSN program, the responsibility entirely falls on you. And this has been a constant struggle, especially with COVID-19 among us, where we can't even go in person and meet potential preceptors or meet with managers to find a good place to do our clinicals at. And so In this video, I wanted to come up with you guys with 7 tips on how to seek clinical preceptorship, because I've noticed this as a current trend. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I hear a lot of stories of people having a hard time looking for clinical preceptorship, especially during COVID times when there is a lack of face-to-face interaction. We have an increase in telehealth. These tips hopefully are going to help you guys out in being able to land a clinical preceptorship. Tips for you guys is number 1, talk to other NP students. This is very important. If you have any friends or family members that are in NP school programs, talk to them. Talk to them about how they've found their preceptors. Maybe they can work with the same preceptors that they worked at in the past. Network with them and ask them, for experience and advice, and I would probably start there. Number 2, reach out to your personal network. This is extremely important. This goes with DOs, MDs, nurse practitioners, nurses, families, anyone. Ask everyone and try to reach out to those people first and see if you can follow them, whether they work in a clinic or they work in a hospital. That's probably your best bet because you already have a connection to them and it may be easier to transition into that. Number 3, be on the lookout early. I cannot stress this enough. Being on the lookout early is very important because you also have to understand that there are a lot of students out there that are trying to get these preceptorships too, so why not get a head start? By asking early, you're putting yourself at a distinct advantage in landing a clinical preceptorship by starting out early as opposed to waiting out the last minute. Because if you wait the last minute, chances are those doctors, those nurses, whoever likes working with students, most likely already going to have a student working with them this coming semester, so I would try to be on the lookout early. Number 4, tell everyone that you're looking for a preceptor. Now, if you're on social media like Facebook or Instagram, other social medias, you're already taking a step in the right direction by asking, where can I find a clinical preceptor? Or who are some preceptors that are interested in taking some students in this current semester? And chances are there are going to be a lot of comments, there are going to be a lot of responses about people who know family and friends who have their own personal network. You can get into touch with them, get into touch with the people that they recommend, and then you're going to be able to find a preceptor that way. 5, be persistent when cold calling. What is cold calling? Cold calling is the act of reaching out, communicating with people that you've never met before, face-to-face or in person or even over the phone. When you're making these calls, you're going to have a lot of rejection most likely. Hospitals or clinics, they're going to say, oh, we're not taking students at the time, but maybe later during the semester, maybe next summer, next year. Even though these people say no to you, I would still get the information down and then reach out to them later when they do take students. And it's also important to be persistent and not give up. I know rejection hurts, and it hurts to be kept on saying no by a lot of organizations and a lot of people, but just be persistent about it and eventually you are going to be able to land your clinical preceptorship. Number 6, be confident when selling yourself. It's like with any job interview, any opportunity where you meet someone new, you need to be confident. If you're not confident, then that person or organization is going to see fear in you and not think that you're not ready to be prepared for this field. Because if you think about it, in nurse practitioner school or as a nurse practitioner in real life, you need to have a level of confidence. Whether you're a nurse, whether you're a doctor, when you're meeting a patient, you want to be confident in yourself and your abilities, because if you lack that confidence, then how is anyone going to be able to trust you as a healthcare professional? So just be confident, especially when you're going in there and talking to people for the first time. Bring up your credentials, bring up your experiences, and bring up especially your achievements, because people like to hear about your success, and most likely they are going to take your success into mind when selecting you as a possible preceptee. And last but not least, number 7, follow up. This is very important because if you don't follow up, even though a clinic or hospital will tell you, yeah, you can come in and work with us, they may forget about you if you don't follow up. So when I had to look for my preceptor, I made sure that I introduced myself at an early point, said I was interested in following that person in about 2 months' time, and I've kept connection, updating about, when can I start, what paperwork do I need. It's important to follow up, especially when you're working with an organization that's interested in taking you in. If you don't follow up, they are going to forget about you, so keep on being consistent about it. So this semester, I'm responsible for 48 hours of clinical preceptorship, and the challenge was real. I did reach out to people, but I was able to find my preceptor, fortunately, through a friend of mine. So that's one of my steps, seeking out your personal network, asking your friends and family. I was able to talk to my friend. I was at dinner one time, and I asked, do any of you guys know any nurse practitioners I can follow? And my friend at the time said, you know what, let me text my friend. So my friend texted the NP, got some information down, told that person about me, and voila, I was able to secure a preceptorship right away. And the week that followed, that preceptor that I wanted to follow reached out to the organization, said, hey, I want this student, I want Christian to follow me, and that was that. Paperwork was filled out, it was started, and just today I was able to secure my badge so I can start my clinical preceptorship. That was how I secured my clinicals, and that's how I plan on doing so for any future semesters. If you follow these tips, you are going to be able to land a clinical preceptorship, and if you don't right away, do not be discouraged, because you just need to be consistent and you need to not give up. As long as you don't give up and as long as you believe in yourself, you're going to be able to land that preceptorship. And once you do, you're going to have an amazing experience, because these clinicals are really the backbone of your entire education experience. It's so much different learning things in a textbook where you learn how to assess, how to do SOAP notes. But by putting it into action, by putting it into real life, you're going to get a better experience out of that because you're actually doing it. For me, as a learner, I like to do things by working on it rather than hearing and listening about it. I like to do it myself, so then that way I'm able to practice these skills, I'm able to develop these skills, harness that so I can get better and better. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please do so in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel at CMoneyRN. I'm looking forward to hearing about what you guys think about this video, any future suggestions for any future episodes, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much and take care.